All we are is dust in the wind, dude.
What's going on YouTube? Big Philly Poor Boys RC. Thanks again for tuning in to this episode of Throwback Thursday. Very special episode. We're going to talk about a kit that I love more than I think the average person loves. I love it so much I haven't even driven it yet. And it's not even like a high-end kit. It's an entry-level kit. I love it. You guys might not. Tell me what you think about the Tamiya Manta Ray. So the Tamiya Manta Ray has been reissued a couple times throughout its career. So it tells me there's something special about this buggy. It's four-wheel drive. It's got four-wheel independent suspension, yellow CVA dampers all around. Super cool Manta Ray-esque body. Wow, look at that thing. It's so neat. It's devilsome. There's a lot of really cool things about this kit that we're going to get into, but let's just talk about the background of it a little bit first. Came out in 1990, the first round. After that, it was re-released again in 2005, then 2018, which that's what I've got here. This is a 2018 reissue. And then later on again in 2019 with the expert built series where it had like a radio that was already built for you. So the Manta Ray's been around. It's built on the DF01 chassis, which has been used in the past. A nice, reliable, entry-level platform, which is a ton of fun to drive, inexpensive to buy. And look how freaking cool this thing looks. Let's take a closer look at it, see what it's all about. And you know, guys, half the reason I do this show is because of this right here. Like, just look at this thing. Look how cool that looks. Sorry, it just has to occupy the screen for a minute. Look at it, it's awesome. Independent shocks in the rear, silky smooth. Man, four-wheel drive. What a gorgeous looking kit. Okay, I'm going to focus a bit more on the Manta Ray. Sorry, I get excited every time I see it. And I got to be honest with you guys, I've had this kit sitting on my wall for about 2 years now. I still haven't driven it. Again, it's an entry-level kit. It's not really that special of a kit, but I really love it. I just kind of don't want to get it dirty. I like staring at it in its pristine condition. I think everyone else would kind of get a Manta Ray, go beat the tar out of it and pick up something better, but not this guy. I appreciate the Manta Ray. So let's take a bit of a closer look at it. Again, DF01 chassis, been the same chassis platform throughout its model reissue years. It's got a nice big kind of scoop bumper in the front. Nice wide pin spike tires, equal width tires, both front and rear. We've got, front and rear diffs, no center differential in this guy. Pretty basic, again, pretty basic entry-level type of a setup. The CVAs are nice and smooth. If anything, I might take put some thinner oil up in the front and go a little, maybe a little thinner in the back. They're a little sluggish, but anyway, you got to drive it to tune it, right? But that's the Manta Ray exterior in a nutshell, guys. Super cool four-wheel drive chassis. Awesome. With speed disc wheels. So let's get the body taken off and take a closer look at what hides beneath. So just two body pins securing the Manta Ray body. And it is a Lexan body, and I did have to paint it. So it does not come pre-painted as many of the new higher-end Tamiya kits do today. This one does not. You will have to trim it and paint it yourself. Now, taking a look inside the Manta Ray, it did come with the Tamiya TBL02 S ESC, which is a nice sturdy ESC capable of using both brushed and brushless motors. In this case, the kit just comes with a brushed standard Mabuchi 540, or maybe it's the non-Mabuchi, I'm not sure, but just your 27 turn silver can chilling in there. Again, I changed my plug over to Dean's because I run Dean's on all mine. But again, guys, the nice thing about this ESC, it is compatible with censored brushless motors. So for an entry-level buggy coming with an ESC that allows you to use censored brushless motors, that is pretty trick. As you can see, I've got my Sanwa ESC, receiver sitting up top, chilling there, and I've got an eBay servo in here with metal gears, and that's going to handle the steering duties if I ever take this thing out for a rip. Now, if you take a bit of a closer look at the steering, it does have a nice bell crank steering system, which some of the older Tamiya buggies, especially from the 80s, didn't have that, which could cause some issues if you're running in sand and whatnot. So here we've got a nice bell crank system, which creates nice proportional steering. The Tamiya tried, tested, and true servo saver is on there. That came with the kit, and it works great. Diving in a little bit closer, guys, the upper and lower turnbuckles, well, the lower A-arms are non-adjustable at all. I mean, that's pretty standard, but often you get like an upper adjustable turnbuckle on a higher end kit. Here, as you see, it's just a solid piece of plastic. It's not adjustable at all, so you're not going to be able to adjust your camber at all. And same story here, guys, where the upper camber is going to be fixed in the rear end as well as the front. Checking out the drive shaft. So again, no center differential, guys, just a direct drive right from the rear axle, transferring power, slamming it right into the front. And this tiny little drive shaft, as small as it is, and as unbalanced and as wobbly as it is, it does the trick. And I'll tell you, it's pretty much the same setup in so many Tamiya kits. I'm running a 10-turn brushless motor, my hot shot, with this same drive shaft. And it holds up just fine. I'm amazed. I really thought it would have twisted or something, but it's held up just fine. So as underwhelming as it appears to be, it does the trick just fine. And if you look up front, you are not going to find any sway bars up there. Let's take a look in the back. Oh, look at that. No sway bars. So again, entry-level kit, no sway bars, no bells and whistles, pretty basic stuff. You know, if you're going to buy this kit, make note of the shape of the battery holding tray, where if I remove this pin, that drops out, and you've got your conventional NiCad or nickel metal hydride shaped battery opening. Or if you're lucky and you can find a LiPo that fits, which they do exist, you can use one of those LiPo batteries in there as well. One thing in particular that I find to be cool about this kit is that you can see the evolution of chassis design. And if you look closely, there's the honeycomb sort of pattern at the base of the chassis. And I hope you guys can see it there. It's tough to see with the lighting, I suppose, but just around the steering servo, if you take a look, you can kind of see the honeycombs in there. So they've got the honeycomb print on the base of the chassis, which is increasing the rigidity of the chassis, which is a super cool thing. It was kind of like next gen, right? Because back in the 80s, they didn't have a whole lot of that. And if they did, I don't remember it. Just bathtub chassis were a bathtub chassis. So it's neat to see some next level engineering, I guess you'd say, and design going into these chassis. Which is just super cool, because you still see this today. If you look at an Arma buggy where you got honeycombing all over the place to beef it up, they're known to be so tough. And here we are looking way back to 1990, and that technology was born. So that's pretty cool. And I gotta say, guys, like I've always loved the look of the Manta Ray. And I know it gets a lot of flack online. It has for years. Anytime I'd be online, it didn't matter which website or Facebook group I was on. It just never seemed to get the love that I felt it deserved. And leave your comments down below. Tell me if you're a pro Manta Ray or anti Manta Ray kind of person, because I'm curious to know what the anti Manta Ray people, like just what you find so unappealing about it. Might be something to do with the kind of spaceship weird Manta Ray chassis thing going on. Might be something to do with that. But I mean, I think it's cool, and it's just so super vintage Tamiya. I mean, it just screams Tamiya to me, and so of course I'm in love with it. But tell me what your thoughts are, because I'm really curious to know. And I love hearing. I love the interaction on the channel. So thank you guys for chiming in. Check it out, guys. Bottom of the chassis, nice and super flat, ready to hit your local racetrack and destroy all the RC10s out there that it can handle. Chews them up, spits them out. Boom. No, it probably won't. But actually, I'd be interested to see that, because it is four-wheel drive. But tons of suspension travel up front. Check that bad boy out. Looks wicked. So that's it for today's episode of Throwback Thursday, guys. Thank you all again so much for hanging out, checking out the Tamiya Manta Ray, which is, again, one of my favorites. And I will make a running video soon, I promise. I do have to take it out for a spin because this thing is just way too cool to not take out for a spin. Cheers, guys. Love y'all. Be excellent to each other.